So hello everyone, today we are near Mount Shasta. It's a beautiful spring day, nice breeze going, perfect day to just sit and be present in nature. So that's what we're doing today. Today, what's been on my mind and heart to share is a couple of things. First, I want to talk briefly about our previous concepts and any, reservations we still hold, any concepts that are limiting us. It's, sometimes, like for example, me, a path that we've been on for a really long time, to really be honest with ourselves. There's something still that is missing. There's still that part of us that's like, well, I've been doing this and that, or this practice, or been a part of this spiritual path for so long. Why am I still, fill in the blank? So, the one thing I don't want to do is fabricate any sort of conceptual framework for nature-based awareness, because nature-based awareness is just a very simple way of allowing what's already there, what is our natural state, to be. That's it. And bug will find his way. Scared me a little bit. So allowing what is naturally there to just come to the forefront, our awareness, right? That's what we say. Our awareness is what's normally in the background coming to the forefront, because as I've described before, beneath everything, beneath our concepts, beneath our doing, our mantras, our whatever it is that we do, and also even us, everything that we believe this fusion of a human being experiences, personality, even physical form to be, even our mind, everything. So what is there still? What has always been there? What has never moved? What has always been present? That awareness that pervades everything, including us, and is everything, including us, at the deepest level. What we don't want to do is create a conceptual framework, because experiencing awakening is beyond all of that. There's no any sort of fabricated stories, religious meanings, human created things. As far back as you want to go, all came from us as humans. And our grasping for in traditional spirituality religion is, let's take those higher beings, let's look to higher humans and their experiences and gain from that, and then take it from there. We're all just sort of milling around trying to figure out from each other's own experiences, even historically. And just because it's historical, it must be more correct. People knew back in the day, they were so much wiser, so much more spiritual, blah, blah, blah. So just to say a little bit about that, we as humans sort of think we're the center of the universe. We like to think that everything was created for us, that we deserve enlightenment, etc. These sort of thoughts. So we have to be aware that we do sort of have this way about us, because we are very smart, but in a way our strength is our weakness in this situation, because with our intellect being, what it is, we sometimes forget what is beyond the human experience, what is beyond just this phenomenal world that we live in, our interactions as humans, even after the afterlife, etc., right? So my point in all of this really is just for us to take a moment to zoom out, like I always say, back away from your story, back away from your sense of, experience in this world. And by sitting, we do that. By sitting, and in nature, more so than, any other place, when we sit and silence the presence, that awareness that is always there, experiencing itself through us starts to begin. It is, in a way, this consciousness, I guess, we'll say, right? This pure beingness is always experiencing itself through us. But we should also be aware that when it by itself, no us in the way, is different. There's no mistaking it. There's no mistaking, experiencing that awakened state as, some altered state of consciousness, some very deep spiritual experience. It's actually very grounding, very calm and peaceful. It's more than that. It's more than what I can explain in human terms. And in a way, you could say it's important. From what I can understand, based on my experience, that's all I can share with you, right? Is that the quote unquote importance of awakening lies in, as I said before, it being what we are. It's a natural state. Nothing that is, was ever hidden from us to begin with. And so I feel like as we, sort of unveil the whole mystery, take apart the mystic, intense, spiritual ideas that we have about awakening, is a very normal thing, something that is available to everyone, and isn't really a thing at all. It's you, just without what's not you in the way, blocking, filtering the experience. Yeah. So that's one thing I would like to share. I know many of us for years and years, friends that I still have been looking through this lens, a very spiritual lens, through their own altered experiences. If you listen to them for a while, they don't describe awakening. They describe either some sort of temporary external or internal effect on them, a feeling of so beautiful, so so many words to describe, right? Something like, wow, this sort of like experience, right? So essentially those experiences, not to rate them as good or bad or judge them, but what we have to be aware and honest with ourselves is that those experiences, because us as humans, we have certain things that we get drawn to. We normally like to experience wonderful, beautiful things and avoid negative things. This is not to say we should just blindly embrace, all negative things and just fall into kind of nihilism where everything's meaningless. And this is not that. But what I'm really trying to explain is that those experiences, those altered states of consciousness that we put in a category of, spiritual, opening my heart more, opening my crown chakra, connecting to the earth and the universe, and my kundalini, and all these metaphysical terms come up, right? So you just, and for a lot of people, it's a turn off. They're just like, oh, there's too much. Some of that sounds really weird, you know. So that's another thing I tried to sort of filter through on my own over the years. Not everything is for everyone, but the thing that we have to remember is that those experiences can be like a drug. You know, we humans, we get addicted to things, whether it's sugar or spiritual experiences, whether it's, you know, it could be anything, you know. So the things that we find ourselves, spiritually speaking, saying, I can't go a day without doing this or whatever. Those things are energetic upkeeps. But in my experience in the past, other types of spiritual experiences which alter our energy, and some people will say, oh, it's love, or it's, you know, universal energy, or it's earth energy, or kundalini energy. There's so many different types of energy. But the thing we have to remember is when we inundate our body, our cells, away from the earth's energy, our resonant frequency, you know, which is somewhere around 528 hertz, we change in not a bad way or a good way, but we tend to want to move towards those energies and frequencies. When we don't have that, we experience the other end of that, which is sometimes we fall into like a little depression, or sometimes there can be a big drop energetically in our body, and it's very uncomfortable. It can affect our health in that sense. Many other different things, right? Because what goes up must come down. Yeah, so we have to be careful with those experiences, those energies. You know, experiencing very high blissful states. You know, it's nice to be able to experience those, right? I think as a human, you know, I understand and realize, you know, those states are very addicting as well. So those sorts of things, they can't sustain themselves on their own. Yeah. So really what is natural is best, not something that we read in a book and ancient, you know, people are bringing back, and it has to do with, you know, awakening something or moving something around that we think we need to become more spiritual. Forget all that. Just be natural. Just do what feels natural. And sometimes, to be honest, our mind as people feel, oh, that's boring, you know? So boring to just sit there and just watch some leaves flutter around, you know, like, wow. But when the mind is not even there, in our awareness of self, we just sort of get to the point, which is what I'm trying to describe with awakening. So anyways, thank you for sitting with me today. I hope you have a great day. Get out in nature, enjoy whatever it is. Don't let rain stop you. As an Oregonian, I just think being in nature while it's raining can be really awesome as well. But who am I to speak? I have a beautiful sunny day, so I'm going to go out and enjoy it, and I will see you guys soon.